Millionaire's big play again. Magnano throws for the end zone, wide open, striker, touchdown, Millionaires.
Larkin steps back, unleashes a strong deep ball, just underthrown a little bit, but what a catch! He's brought in by Hunter Webb, who charges ahead for a Lancer touchdown.
Short pickup.
They've got Wright in the backfield now. They come straight ahead. Jace Wright made a man miss. At Nash out here, they put a man in motion. That's going to be Luke Winter. They're going to pitch that right side and out to the outside. Green, look out. Green, 40, 35, 30. Gideon Green down the sideline. Gideon Green, touchdowns. He's got Guthrie next to him. Double Y's each side. Rolling out. Jamori. Throwing down in the corner. Hey, it's time for touchdowns and tailgates. I'm Gary Chrisman along with Jim Webb. Here we go. High school football weekend number 10. Touchdowns and tailgates brought to you by Fairfield Auto Group. Fairfield for fair deals. Jim, this is it. Rivalry game here. Memorial Stadium, Montoursville, Loyalsock, always a big one. And it's last game of the regular season. I don't think I've ever seen a year go so quickly as this one.
Gary, it's been amazing. We're on week 10, rivalry week, in Montoursville, Loyalsock. Great matchup every year. You throw the records out, doesn't matter. And, of course, you got Berwick-Williamsport.
Yeah.
And got them both on Webb Weekly Live, and I agree with you. Where did the time go? Where did the weeks go?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I know that the PA Sports Live guys on WebWeeklyLive.com will be doing this game. Paul McGinn, Aaron James, and that's going to be fun. Montoursville, who has won 2 in a row, young team, a team that's had a real tough schedule, but you get the feeling that can they really savor and save their season by winning over the Lancers in the upset win as Loyalsock comes back from a really tough loss in a game they could have beat Shikellamy.
Loyalsock played very well against Shikellamy. You did the game and very easily could have been a win. They've managed to put plays, drives, quarters together, but they have to put the whole game together. Montoursville is on the – throw the records out anyways, like I said. This game would be close no matter what the records are. It's one of the best rivalries in the state of Pennsylvania, and record doesn't matter. It's going to be a hard-fought game.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And, of course, Millionaires coming back off a really tough loss. How did they bounce back after the loss at Wyoming area at 58-42? The other day, of course, they play Berwick now. The Dogs, coached by Frank Sheptock, a guy that's been around coaching. Coached at Wilkes, 18 years as head coach, 24 years there. Second year at Berwick, and I talked to him today. He is fired up about this game. His Dogs are 8-1, lone loss to Selinsgrove.
Typical Williamsport Berwick game, and again, records don't matter a whole lot in that one. Let's hope Williamsport comes back with some defense this week. I'm sure Coach Cruz will get them coached up, but the Bulldog, I mean, you go back to the George Curry days, and you've called some of those great games.
Oh, yeah.
At both places. And again, you got to get excited when you say Williamsport, Berwick, Loyalsock, Montoursville.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Weekend number 10, we're set to go. And I know, hey, Montoursville was your team of the week, right?
My team of the week, and I'll let you handle the honors with Coach Keefer when he comes over. And you know, they won a couple in a row, and they got themselves – this is more or less a playoff game. They still have the opportunity to make district playoffs in the 3A level.
And they can make their season with a win over the Lancers.
No matter what, that'll make a season. And I'm looking forward to the ball game Friday night.
Yeah, we better take a time out. Fairfield for fair deals. Jim and I'll be back. Jim's going to head to Sock. I'm going to stay here at Montoursville, talk to the guys as they get ready for the big game, the battle for the bridge. Coming up next, touchdowns and tailgates.
Over 30 years, one family of dealerships has grown to include 14 brands at 8 locations on an unyielding commitment to hometown values, an unrivaled service, selection, and customer satisfaction for 30 years. Fairfield, for fair deals. You're gonna love us.
Touchdowns and tailgates. Gary Chrisman back with J.C. Keefer. Can you believe this is it? Final regular season game. However, your ball club's played pretty well the last couple of weeks. You've got life and maybe a playoff spot. It could make your season beating the Lancers.
Yeah, I mean, it's these kids have worked hard. They put themselves in the position here to make the playoffs. As far as I'm concerned, we're in the playoffs, because next time you lose, you're turning in your gear. If you win a game,
that's right,
you play again the next week. So it's all about these kids not giving up. Our schedule was atrocious this year, so I'm really proud of these guys. We just kept plugging along, getting better, and they put themselves in the position to get into the playoffs. And once you do that, anybody can win a district championship in AAA here this year. So we're excited about it. It's been fun. Anytime you play Loyalsock, it's going to be a tough game, but it's the atmosphere is still here, even with the 2-7 record. But that's what high school football is all about. So we're ready to go. I got
to say, I've done a lot of games over the years. Really impressed with you guys, your team, and the coaching staff. The positive word for these guys, knowing you got a lot of good young guys in, seniors that have worked hard, and nobody gave up on anybody here. You're here playing this final game, but it's still an uplifting feel here at Montoursville, knowing that the winning tradition is going to continue, maybe continue this coming Friday.
Right. And there's no question about it. I've really got to give credit to my senior leaders who have kept this team together. We have so many young kids out there playing. I mean, there was a time when I had three starting sophomore linebackers, 2 freshmen in the defensive backfield. So there are young kids running around here, and we knew that it was going to be a tough year. And I've really got to give my seniors credit for hanging in there and teaching these guys, bringing them along and making them better and better and better. Like I said, the schedule we have, we couldn't have, 9th and 10th graders out there to compete, and so they just continued to get better. Our seniors kept encouraging them, kept bringing them along, and it's really put us in the position that we're in now. We could have easily folded. Seniors could have said, the heck with this. We had our district championship days over the last, we've been to 3 straight district championships. So all these seniors have been there where some of these young kids have not, obviously. So, I really give all the credit to our senior class, those guys that stepped up and said, okay, this might not be the season that we're used to here at Montoursville, but we're going to make sure it continues over the next couple of years. So we're going to teach these young kids how to compete. And then all of a sudden you find out you're in the position we're in now. So, I really got to give credit to these seniors that have stuck it out and have been leaders for us.
Okay, Sock. You don't have to get a team up for a game against Loyalsock. Battle for the bridge. Do you have a favorite Sock moment in your coaching career, one that sticks out to you that is J.C. Keefer, great moment against Loyalsock? What might that be?
Well, not really, because I have so much respect for Coach Van Fleet and Andy Brown and and his whole staff over there that they have. They're a good coaching staff. So anytime you can get a win, against them is an accomplishment. But for me, probably with a Division I athlete who goes on and plays Division I baseball at a big time school and is probably going to move on to the big leagues next year, competing against him and having some success when he was out there on the field and was I know for us was always a big deal. Oh no, you can only try to game plan against a Kyle Datris, but when he's out there, he just totally deteriorates your game plan. And I'll be honest with you, this Connor Watkins kid is close to what we attempted to do against Datris.
Sure.
He's just a playmaker. He runs around the field. Again, he's only a junior, so. It's just one of those things when you're playing Loyalsock, they just have athletes all over the place. So you put a game plan together knowing it's going to be broken somewhere. So what are our kids going to do to make plays to try to, hold up to their playmakers? So that's really the fun of playing Loyalsock. They're always well coached and they have athletes.
JC, good luck Friday night. Good luck in getting to the playoffs.
Thanks very much.
It's been fun.
See what happens. I appreciate it.
We're going to take a time out. We'll be back. We'll talk to some of the players. Touchdowns and tailgates back after Fairfield for Fair Deals.
Over 30 years, one family of dealerships has grown to include 14 brands at 8 locations. On an unyielding commitment to hometown values, an unrivaled service, selection, and customer satisfaction for 30 years. Fairfield. For Fair Deals. You're gonna love us.
Montoursville Warriors final game. Anthony Washington, what a career. You've had a great run here. Is there a favorite Warrior moment that you've had? One moment, one play that you'll always remember. 10, 20, 30 years from now, you're going to say, I'm glad I played for the Warriors, but I remember that one play that I made.
That personally I made?
Yeah.
Last year I had a pretty nice fumble recovery for a touchdown. I don't know, I just thought it helped out our team for Danville. I don't know, we got a nice win that game and took it back 40 yards from a fumble recovery. That stands out to me. I always remember that.
That's a great Warrior moment.
Yeah.
Is there a favorite game in your career?
My favorite game would probably be the Southern Columbia District game in 2015. Yeah, 2015.
You guys beat them that day.
No, we didn't.
Oh,
we
you
actually
didn't beat
lost.
them that
Yeah,
day.
we lost by 6 points, 56.
That might have been the year before.
Yeah, 56-50.
Oh,
And
what am I kidding me? I did the game.
Yeah.
The year before you guys had beaten them, that game was one of the wildest games I think that I ever did.
Yeah,
it was unbelievable.
I was so young too, and having to start that game, it was just, it was. The guys were like, "Suck it up, Anthony," and I was playing with Keith Bukowski and these older guys that I really looked up to, and kind of I learned from to kind of treat our team, the way that they treated us and our relationship we had. I try to kind of get that with the younger guys, help these guys out because I like to kind of help that they got me when I was younger to get me where I'm at now.
And you played with a team at Southern. Yeah, that was probably the most memorable game I did. I thought you were talking about the year before when Montoursville actually beat him and then nearly pulled the upset win. What a game that was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's go down here. Anthony, thanks. Oleg Bonner, I know you've been banged up a little bit, and that's held you a little bit in check, but you've had some great moments. What favorite moment for you? Was there one play that you always remember, always cherish?
I think every single play that I've had this year, I'll cherish and remember for the rest of my life. Just after missing my whole junior year, this season I'll always remember.
Fun time.
Yep.
Favorite game? Favorite game as a Warrior? Is there one stand out to you? Maybe last week.
Probably last week, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty nice win over another arch rival in the area.
Yep.
Let's go down to talk to William DeWald. And, William, what about you? Favorite moment as a Warrior playing?
Favorite moment probably Danville game. We were in it till the end. Had the ball on the half-yard line and couldn't put it in and get the win. But that was probably my most favorite game this year so far.
We're going to talk about the Loyalsock game coming up in a moment. Let's talk to Brian Schaefer. And Brian, pretty quick guy in that secondary. Also can get out there and catch those passes. Brian, is there a favorite moment or a favorite play that you had in your Warrior career?
I probably wouldn't say there's a favorite moment. Just playing for this organization, it just really opened my eyes, how much work ethic has to do with your life and just principles my coaches have taught me throughout the years.
Just getting ready. Is there a favorite game, favorite win that you guys have had? You had quite a few over the years.
I don't know about a win, but definitely going back to Anthony, the district championship game against Southern. I didn't start that game, but I went in the second half, and that really opened my eyes to my first varsity playing time.
Sure, you could play with anybody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How could I forget that Southern game? I think it was probably the greatest game that we ever televised in the 31 years we've been doing it. All right, I'm going to come back around the horn. Let's go. Stay with Brian. Loyalsock Lancers. What does the Loyalsock game mean to you and your teammates?
It basically means my football career. If we lose, we're out. If we win, we're advancing. So this game is just on the line for us.
Let's go down to William down here. William, why is the Lancer game so special?
Like Brian said, it's going to be our last game if we can't get a win. Everyone's going to be fighting hard, and the fact that it's going to be a rivalry game to get us into the playoffs or not just makes it even bigger this year.
Does it mean something special that you might know some of the guys on that team?
Oh yeah, it's we've all grown up together. We've all played each other coming up through all the way through MJA to our senior year to high school football, and almost seems like that's how it should be, is playing the guys that we've grown up with, our rivals, and that should be our final game, and so you can come out on top.
Oleg, Loyalsock Lancers would be pretty sweet to beat them. What would it mean to you?
It would mean everything to beat Loyalsock and get the bridge back because we lost it last year.
Is there a certain Lancer player that you might know over there, or guys that you know that you think these are guys we know we played against and now we want to finally beat them? Because you probably run into these guys and they're always saying, "Hey, we got you last year."
You say name out a player?
Well, there might be somebody that you know on that team or whatever.
Just Hunter Webb.
Hunter Webb. He's the guy you're focusing on.
Yeah.
Pretty good ball player. Let's get down to Anthony. You played a few of these games. Is there a favorite Lancer moment you have?
Definitely, yeah. My sophomore year, they came out in these baby blue uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
Different, It didn't work too well for them. We still put them in the dirt, but yeah, I don't know. I know these guys personally. Hunter Webb, Sam Newton, Brock Hepler, Gerald. I know these guys. I hang out with them out of school, so we have a really good relationship. Max Dugan, too, their center. It's just like, I think it's going to be a fun game. We're going to put out a nice show for the audience, and we're just going to, have fun for the team. This is going to be a great game. Hopefully we're switching positions. Last year we didn't have to really win. We were first seed, so I don't know. The week of practice wasn't as how it should be. So this year we know how serious this is for our senior year and that it could be done. So I don't know. We just got to come out strong.
Is there a degree of confidence on this team now, knowing you won a couple in a row? You've always known this team had all kind of potential. You're the seniors leading a lot of young guys who are going to be real good in a couple of years. Mm-hmm. Little degree going in that you feel like, hey, we're going to pull this thing off.
I mean, it's good to we gotta have confidence, coming into this game. You can't come into this game with no confidence. We know how good Loyalsock is. We're just gonna come in this game cautious, come in prepared. We don't want to be too cocky coming in. We just want to know. We know how they play. We watch film. We gotta make sure we come in with confidence.
Could be an upset special. Guys, I want to thank all of you. Good luck. Hats off to a great career at Montoursville, and good luck to you guys going out strong this week and getting a chance to continue on, not only maybe beating Sock, but getting to the playoffs. Guys, good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more touchdowns and tailgates in a moment.
Every community is filled with problems, and solutions don't always come easy. Some of the toughest problems are right here in Lycoming County. The ones that can't be solved overnight. The ones individuals fear the most. When the unthinkable happens, when life happens, we fight. Give to the Lycoming County United Way.
And I'm here with Williamsport Sun-Gazette's Doc Massey, becoming a weekly thing here at Southside at Morgan Stadium, and another great weekend of football.
Yeah, there were some good games and some good storylines going into Week 10.
And your top five is always entertaining, and we'll get right into it. Top five, number 5.
Muncie, they lose 34-8 to South. I don't think that surprised anybody, but they hung with them a little bit, and they didn't get mercy ruled. And like last year, they lost 31-7 to South on this field in Week 9, but they put up a solid performance, and that kind of propelled them to a district title. So I think that loss could be a good thing for them moving ahead.
Definitely prepares them for what we were talking about earlier off camera, the A playoffs coming up. I mean, they're going to be the 1 seed and a heavy favorite.
Yeah,
and I think that game will only make them better.
Yeah, because even going into state, if they were to go to states, I think South is maybe the best team they'll see all season. So if you can hang with that team for a while like they did, I think that's a good sign.
And we'll save South. I had a couple thoughts here, but we'll save them.
Yeah, they'll be mentioned eventually.
Number 4.
4 is Williamsport dropping a little bit. Lose 58-42 to Wyoming area. Defense is just a big problem right now. I mean, they're putting points on the board every week, but they just can't stop people right now, and it's their Achilles heel right now, and it could be their ultimate downfall.
And didn't see that one coming. I mean,
no.
I thought as well as they played the week prior that they would just keep on rolling on
too.
To Berwick. But a tough ball game for the Millionaires. And then Coach Cruz, I'm sure, will get them ready, and they'll be back.
Yeah, and the offense keeps being a bright spot. Joe Fagnano went over 2,000 yards passing. He's got 25 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So stuff like that. Marcus Simmons is up to 10 touchdowns and 56 catches. Ethan Stryker's closing in on 50 catches at tight end. So
you just know I love the numbers, don't you?
I do too.
I know
like
you
punching
do.
them in, and they put up a lot of them. So it's fun to see what that offense is doing on a week-to-week basis.
Fagnino's been tremendous, fundamentally sound, runs the Williamsport offense, and again, without their Heisman Trophy candidate in the backfield, he has been absolutely at times top shelf, and even. I can't imagine next year. Hopefully, they get some linemen developed for next year. I know they lose quite a bit, but you get Trayson back, and he has a year of development like this. It should be could be a special season. So.
Absolutely. And, they lose Stryker, but Marcus Simmons is back.
Marcus,
and,
and Stryker's a big loss. Ethan, Hunter's played a lot of baseball with Ethan. He's really developed himself, and I don't know if you know his numbers off the top of your head, but his catches and yards and touchdowns.
He's around 43 catches, I think, for close to 500 yards and 7 touchdowns. So,
and I haven't seen that out of a tight end type at Williamsport in a long time. So.
Yeah, it's one of the best single seasons that an area tight end has had, probably since Nate Mesner was playing at Muncie.
They used him they're sort of like Williamsport's using Ethan. So, number 3.
Jersey Shore moving up a little bit.
The Bulldogs, good win.
Yeah. Bald Eagle area is not a bad team, and played them tough last year. And they scored the last 31 points, won at 31-7. Defense is playing great right now. They're shutting teams down. I think the offense is coming to life a little bit. It's kind of looking, if Southern beats Selinsgrove this week, Jersey Shore Selinsgrove is probably a first-round matchup.
Wow.
Which has been the last 4 district championships, and I think a lot of people thought it would be a 5th this year, so that would be quite a first-round matchup.
That would be quite a first-round matchup, and never bet against Coach Gravish and getting them prepared and Coach Jackson's defense. I mean,
they're starting to turn the corner, I think.
Number 2, I know who it is.
2 is Wellsboro.
Yep. The Green Hornets from up north.
Yeah, they just keep rolling. Same thing every week. Another Mercy Rule win, 9 Mercy Rule wins this year now. They've scored 100 points in the first quarter alone in their last 3 games. So,
and there's some tougher games on the horizon for the Wellsboro squad.
And that's it's the same thing every week. I think they're really good. I think they're one of the best teams in AA, but it's still hard to get a read on them because they haven't gone against
and our
those great teams down here.
I'll lead you to number 1 with how loaded our double A classification is. So our number 1 team is
right here, South Williamsport, and it's they're just playing so well. It's a broken record, but they just play well on both sides of the ball. They're physical. AJ Flick had a nice game, throwing 2 touchdowns, 156 yards against Muncie. So. We always talk about the running game, but they can throw it too.
He's really developed as a quarterback since last year having the opportunity, and now this year. I mean, you just see it week to week, don't you?
Yeah, and I think he runs the offense well. Makes good adjustments when he has to up there. It looks like if they win this week against Line Mountain, they'll be the 3 seed, so that would keep them out of Southern's bracket until the final if it got to that point. So I think they're where they want to be, but this will be a tough game against Line Mountain this week, who's 6-3 right now.
How about some Doc Massey notes on other teams in our area? Anything come to your mind?
Well, I think Loyalsock playing Shikellamy, really tough, almost beating a good Quad A team that right now is right now they're the 2 seed in Quad A, but they beat Selinsgrove. I think that was a good sign for them if they can put it all together for 4 quarters.
And we were talking about that off camera. I mean, Loyalsock has plays, they have series, they have quarters, which are very, very good, and they just need to put it together for a whole game. And I know Coach Van Fleet, that's probably what he would tell us too. So
and they're sitting, if they can win their first round game against, it'll either be Lewisburg or Mifflinburg that they get in the first round, set them up with Danville in the final. I think if they could put it all together, I think they're capable of beating Danville and making this a pretty good season for them.
And how about a player that might be off the radar? Your choice, Doc Massey's choice. Anybody come to mind?
We'll go up to Bucktail. I'm actually writing about Bucktail for our End Zone Extra Cover story this week. And Tanner Riggle had I think he had about 220 yards against Kawaneski Valley in a win for the Bucks. 14 players. They win their 4th game. I think what they're doing is really remarkable, and he's a kid that wasn't a starter until about week 4, and he's got over 800 yards now. So I love what they're doing right now.
And you and I have a passion for small school football, and that's a great story. I'm glad you're giving them some coverage this week. I look forward to reading it.
Yeah, they deserve it. I mean, just to take the field every week, as small as they are, I think is impressive. But to have 4 wins and beat some solid teams is a statement on who they are.
And I've sort of evolved from players of the week because you and Gary Chrisman and a lot of people have that color. I've been doing teams of the week, and I'm sort of leaning one way or the other. But your advice goes a long way. Who do you see as my team of the week this week?
Well, I'm kind of biased because I was at the game, but I go with Montoursville because I like the way they fought back and they could have easily folded at 0-7 and packed it in and said, we got a lot of young players, we'll be good next year. But they've hung together, they've won 2 straight, and now they put themselves in a position where in this Loyalsock game this week, if they win, they're in the playoffs, which, would be pretty remarkable, I think, from where they were. So I think they've done a good job hanging together. The coaching staff's really strong, and it really adds a lot of intrigue to what is already a great rivalry game.
And obviously this is convenient for us to meet, and I just came from Montoursville, and that is my team of the week. You hit the nail on the head.
There we go.
So,
great minds think alike.
And I thank you, and I thought the same thing. They got a couple wins in a row, and you and I love to spread the wealth, too, is the other thing that people have done. And to come from where they are and even have an opportunity in Week 10, who would have thought that?
That's a good story. I mean,
it's a great story.
They don't have a lot of seniors, but the ones that they have, I think, have been great leaders for that team, and they've held it together. And now they've given themselves an opportunity, and that's all you can ask for.
And 2 great games this week. We got to talk about rivalries quick. In the Bridge, we got Montoursville hosting Loyalsock, and of course Berwick and Williamsport. To me, I mean, I grew up in a lot of different rivalries, but the Bridge is special to me, obviously. But that Berwick Williamsport game, all the games I went to over the years and watch those 2 play, that's a special game too.
And that's a big one. I mean, I think Berwick's, I think they're 8-1 right now, and Williamsport needs a win they need a win to get a home playoff game. And they've beaten Berwick on the road 3 or 4 times in the 2000s. They haven't beaten them at home yet. So it's a chance for Williamsport to make a big statement against a really good team.
Absolutely, and we know the ramifications for Montoursville win, and you have a chance, right? And it actually wouldn't matter if both teams had 0 wins. Wouldn't matter.
I think it's a great rivalry on its surface, but year after year, there's always something riding on it, whether it's a league title or playoff positioning. It just seems like there's always something big riding in the game, and Loyalsock, they know where they're going to be. They're the 2 seed. They're going to host a first-round game. But they would love to knock Montoursville out of the playoffs. So
it's like a playoff game.
It is for both teams.
For both teams.
And that's what makes it great. I can't wait to see it.
Well, thank you, Doc Massey.
My pleasure.
Always great catching up with you. And we'll have both games on Webb Weekly Live. We'll have Berwick and Williamsport, and Gary Chrisman, Babe Mayer, and we'll have Loyalsock Montoursville. Paul McGinn, Aaron James will be doing that one, and we'll be bringing them both. So
sounds good.
And we'll take a commercial break for our good friends at Fairfield Auto Group.
Over 30 years, one family of dealerships has grown to include 14 brands at 8 locations. On an unyielding commitment to hometown values, an unrivaled service, selection, and customer satisfaction. For 30 years. Fairfield. For fair deals. You're gonna love us.
And I'm at Loyalsock with head coach Justin Van Fleet. Good to see you, Coach.
Yeah, great to see you. Thanks for coming over, making your way across.
Always. Hey, obviously we're on the other side of the bridge, and it's rivalry week, and it means so much. A little bit in your words, tell us about the Loyalsock Montoursville rivalry from a head coach. We both played in the game, and now you're the head coach. Anything change?
I think it's a lot of the same, really. It's the same for the same reasons it was a rivalry 30 years ago, or the same reason it's a rivalry today. The kids interact tremendously, whether it's through sports teams outside of the traditional Loyalsock Montoursville. They're all on travel teams and all those things. The boys and the girls intermingle, and in addition to that, as parents, we end up rubbing elbows with each other across the aisles of the bridge. It's a natural rivalry. Both schools are very similar. And because of that, our sports competitions have become very, competitive.
And this goes way back, but I was talking earlier in the show that back when I played in high school, the team that won the old West Branch Conference never won the rivalry game.
Well,
And-
I know
and-
that was one of Kenny's big things.
Yeah, of course, then you didn't have district playoffs, so there was a sort of an empty feeling. You won the old West Branch, and you didn't win your last game, and you lost to your rival, and it took a little off of it. Let's move forward. Tough loss to Shigellamy. Again, and I've talked about it. Putting that whole game together is the key for the Lancers.
Right. Yeah, and offensively, we had a huge surge in the second half. Defensively, we were extremely dominant in the first half. Really just trying to plug everything together and control what we can control is our entire objective at this point of the season. Focus on the things that we can actually do, and by doing so, hopefully we can take another step in the right direction.
And we still have, basically, this week's a playoff week.
Yeah, this is a playoff game. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Montoursville's on a hot streak. We certainly have come off, a couple very good games, but we came on the wrong side of one through our mistakes and everything else. Shigellamy taking advantage of it. But at this point, Montoursville versus Loyalsock is as important of a game as it's ever been in the entire time we've played.
And that's a fantastic thing. You get to week 10, and the game means so. And both teams could be over. And the game would have the same meaning to both schools, but that something's on the line. It's a good place. Last thing I'll ask you, and I'll let you get out of here. J.C. Keefer, done a great job as a Montoursville coach. Just a couple words. I know you do a lot with District 4 Coaches Association, and you do a lot for area football. But tell us about Coach Keefer in Montoursville.
Well, out of all the coaches in District 4, J.C. and I have as close of a relationship with as there can be. I end up coaching his son. We coach his son in T-ball, have a great time with one another, and he has as much Loyalsock memorabilia as he does Montoursville at this point with all the youth sports and youth wrestling and everything else. I can't say enough good things about him as a human being, and as a coach, obviously what he's done you really can't question. He's built a great program there from what it was, which had an incredible tradition and built upon that. And a ton of respect for what he's done over there, not only with the team, with his interactions within the community, and then also with his interactions with the community over here.
And again, it's the same old rivalry game, but there's always been a lot of friendships on both sides of the bridge, but that makes the game even more competitive, doesn't it?
It's always fun to go and have a competition, and at the end of it, you want to win those games.
And we'll get a couple of your Lancers in here and talk with them, but thanks as always, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Little commercial break. We'll be right back.
Every community is filled with problems, and solutions don't always come easy. Some of the toughest problems are right here in Lycoming County. The ones that can't be solved overnight. The ones individuals fear the most. When the unthinkable happens, when life happens, we fight. Give to the Lycoming County United Way.
And I'm back at Loyalsock, and I got 3 Lancer seniors with us. And Dylan, obviously I know who you guys are, but the way I like to do this is we'll have you introduce yourself, what positions you play. Just a quick note about the Montoursville Loyalsock game.
Hi, my name's Dylan Armson. I'm a senior for the Lancers this year. I'm the left tackle. I started for 2 years. Montoursville is always a good opponent, but I think we're going to pull it out this year and have a great game.
I'm Jacob Waltz. I play safety now. After Derek G got hurt, I started the season at corner. I'm basically known for jumping high.
I'm Gino Genoble. I play defensive end. I've been playing football since flag football. Been coming up. I just love playing football and hitting things hard.
Very well done, boys. Hey, obviously I've been around you guys more than most of the other teams because I coached most of you guys when you were young. And Gino, you've made a lot of progress, and it's obviously you spend a lot of time in a weight room. Tell us a little bit about the off season with Coach and Van Fleet and all the time you put in.
Van Fleet made sure that we spent all the time in the weight room. We grinded out this year on making sure we did everything right. All the mini things, all the tiny stuff we have to do, we just made sure that we had to do it. And right
Excellent.
now,
and pass it over to Jacob there. Now, football, hard to believe it's your senior season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Coach Van Fleet and the staff, great job preparing you guys all season long. Some tough games. What's your most memorable moment so far this season?
Well, it would have to be right before we played against Shigellamy. We had no game plan because we knew they had this really fast guy. And right before the game, our defensive backs coach came up to me and was like, "Hey, you need to cover this guy the whole game." And I was like, "Really?" Because I was watching so much film on him, trying to see how to cover him well. And I was kind of like iffy on him, seeing if I could cover him, well. But I went out there and I I played my heart out, and I ended up, he caught one catch, and it wasn't really on me. And, yeah, that's
well,
about
excellent job against Shikellamy. We'll pass it on to the big fella here. Dylan, obviously, back to Little League, I've been around you. You turned into a big fella. I used to look down on you, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Tell us a little bit about your football career and what it means to you playing for Coach Van Fleet here and everything.
So my football career is chosen a little bit different than everybody else. When I was in seventh grade, I got held back another year and had foot surgery. So that's actually when I decided to start my football career. And since then, Coach Van Fleet has been a huge advocate of everything, and he's helped us through the whole thing. These guys over here played the 9th grade football team, and I moved up in JV. And as soon as that started, he just, helped us through the whole thing. And after a while, we learned everything from him, and he taught us stuff after practice. And he's probably been the biggest guy in our career helping us through the way. So
excellent. And obviously the foot surgery was a major thing. It's great to see you come back. And anything planned for next year? I know you've been and I know this isn't the week to talk about it, but I know there's some interest from colleges.
Yeah, actually I have an offer from Fordham right now on the table, so I'm trying to take everything into consideration. I'm definitely going to try to play college ball next year, though.
What's the Montoursville game mean to you?
Montoursville game is a huge game to me. It's the Battle of the Bridge. It's always been a huge game. To me, it's the biggest rivalry you have, and it means the world to me to see everybody come out and under the lights play with everybody. And
special game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, let's give it over to Jacob. What's the Montoursville game mean to you, son?
Well, it's basically to me, it's basically Ohio State-Michigan game to me. I'm a big Ohio State fan, and them playing Michigan is like that's their season, and that's basically our season and their season. If they beat us and they go 1-9. That's a win for the season.
Out,
yeah.
Can't you?
Yep.
You've done a great job this year. Next year, anything you've got planned or what you're doing?
Well, I'm probably going to go to Penn State, and I'm a major in engineering, and obviously engineering and football, it's rigorous and it's going to be tough. But I could try to walk on, but it's going to be tough.
Well, good luck.
Yep.
We'll give it on to Gino, and I've known the Ginobili family for a long time, and a little bit about the tradition. I know your dad's a big fan, your mom's a big fan. Sharing the game, the Montoursville game, as a family.
As my dad always preached and taught me, he said playing Montoursville is completely different. You're not going to see any other game like that. You're not going to have that atmosphere. Playing them, he told me always to go hard. No matter what play it is, if you're tired, your knee hurts, your ankle hurts, you got a bruise, got a cut, go out there and hit as hard as you can.
It's a special game, and it's great. The two communities, a lot of friends on both sides, but we get together and knock heads. It's a great thing.
Yeah.
And how about you after this year? Do you have any plans yet?
I'm looking at Shippensburg for football.
Excellent.
They're a nice college, and I like everything about them.
Well, good luck, boys. I know the Warriors, we just came from there. They're getting ready for you. I can't wait to get out here Friday night. Great job.
Thank you.
So, hey, for touchdowns and tailgates, for Doc Massey, for Gary Chrisman, Week 10 is in the books, and obviously we tape the game this week on Mondays because the JV games are going on and the coaches want to get in their normal routine. So get out this Friday night and enjoy rivalry football no matter who your home team is.
On first down at 10, they go to Potts, and there's Potts, 45-50. Potts going to run away from people. He's at the 20, the 15. Touchdown, Potts. Convoy back here, back to pass, looking for Shea. Shea's got his man beat on the dead run. Touchdown.
Driving to get that first down.
That's Green off that left side, big hole, 20-15, and down to the 13-yard line. Gun Shamori. He's got Guthrie next to him. Double wides each side. Rolling out. Shamori. Throwing down in the corner. The catch was made by Stanford.
Third and long. Play action. Going to throw across the middle.
It's intercepted by Hunter Webb. Hunter Webb tipped it. He's going to run to 10, and he leaps forward.